Hi, I'm Lynn Whitbeck. Today I'm sharing how to boost referrals from your donors and volunteers. This talk is for you if you want to turn your donors and volunteers into a referral engine. Nonprofits are under pressure, more competition, massive cuts in grants, and rising donor and volunteer burnout. Too often your existing donors and volunteers do not even think about referring their network to your organization. What you will discover is a powerful method to boost referrals while building a larger donor and volunteer base. You will learn how to identify what's holding you back, how to use the EAR methodology to grow your donor and volunteer base, where to incorporate referrals into your donor and volunteer process, why you need to leverage scripts to ask for the referral. By systematically implementing referrals into your donor and volunteer process, you will serve more people, shorten your giving cycle, and increase your donors and volunteers. Did you know? Referral leads convert 30% better than leads generated from other marketing channels. Referrals are often called word-of-mouth marketing. In addition to the immediate result of stronger donor conversion, there is much more value generated across the lifetime of the relationship. Why? Because people who are referred to your organization already have an element of trust built in. Referral leads also have a better idea of your organization and mission, and they already have a good first impression before they talk to you. Here's a bonus. People who are referred to you give you even more referrals. Data reveals they are 4 times more likely to provide you with fresh referrals than donors and volunteers who got involved via other means. And you increase donor and volunteer retention 10 to 20% with those that become referrers. Referral leads are not only easier to convert to giving, but they help your nonprofit grow over the long term. So what's holding your nonprofit back from asking your donors and volunteers for referrals? Well, for most nonprofits, the number one reason is that you have not trained your team on when and how to ask. The first step to consistently generate referrals is to map out your nonprofit's donor and volunteer experience journeys. Map every touch point, from the very first phone call to check-in to the event after party. Every interaction matters. And you want to be clear about who on your team owns each step. You and your staff need to believe that asking isn't pushy. It's part of providing excellent service to your community. Donors and volunteers who feel valued actually want to help your organization even more. But most won't do it unless you invite them and show them how. You need the tools in place: the journey map, simple scripts that feel authentic, staff training, and a basic way to track when and how often your staff are asking for referrals. The key to consistently asking for and receiving referrals is mastering what I call the EAR method. Here's what that really means. Your organization must deliver a donor and volunteer experience that earns the right to ask. Your team needs to believe that asking isn't pushy. It's earned. Your donors and volunteers are happy to help when they are asked and given simple tools. Your staff needs to know the right timing and the right words, and they need a system that makes recognition and reward part of your organization's culture. Because what you recognize and celebrate is what gets repeated. Now, let me break this down. EAR stands for earn, ask, recognize, and reward. E is you must earn the right. Your donors and volunteers are eager to spread the word when they've had a great experience. When your staff knows they've delivered on this promise, they feel confident asking for referrals. A is you must ask. Bottom line, if your staff doesn't ask, you don't get a steady flow of referrals from your donors and volunteers. Training your team on when and how to ask and giving them confidence to do it is the key to making it happen consistently. Then you must provide your donors and volunteers with a quick and easy way to give you the referrals. R is you must recognize and reward. The behavior you celebrate is the behavior that gets repeated. The reward doesn't need to be big. It just needs to matter to the person receiving it. For some donors and volunteers, that might be a heartfelt thank you note. For staff, it could be as simple as a shout out in the team meeting. The size of the reward doesn't matter. The meaning does. Here's the problem. When your staff isn't trained on the EAR method, opportunities slip away. Referrals from your donors and volunteers will be inconsistent, or they won't happen at all. That means you miss out on a steady flow of new donors and volunteers your organization needs to serve your cause and grow. In fact, not using this method can mean losing 5 or more referrals a week, 20 donors and volunteers a month. The solution is straightforward. Your organization already provides a needed service to the community and excellent care. The EAR method gives your staff the confidence, structure, and consistency to turn that care into growth through your donors and volunteers. When your staff asks with confidence and you have a system for recognizing and rewarding the behavior, you create a steady stream of new donors and volunteers without adding more overhead. Small actions, big results. That's the power of mastering the EAR method. To incorporate referrals into your donor and volunteer process, you can't just talk about referrals once. You need to seed the idea early and mention it often so it feels like a normal part of the donor and volunteer experience. You need to have a written plan that spells out exactly how referrals will be seeded, asked for, and tracked. And it can't just sit on paper. You and your team need to role play those conversations so everyone knows what to say and when to say it with confidence. As you begin building rapport with a new donor or volunteer, you want to plant the seeds for a future referral. Now, here's an example. It's so wonderful working with you. So many of our donors are referrals, and I don't usually get to have this kind of rapport with someone I've just met. You have now seeded the idea that most of your donors come from referrals at the beginning of your relationship. Now, here is another example. I'm super happy that you are one of our volunteers. All of our volunteers are so important. We want you to have a great experience. When you do, you may have friends or family you want to refer to our cause. Now, once again, you are setting the stage to ask for the referral once you've earned the right to ask. You need to leverage scripts for your team to ask for referrals. Creating scripts that feel authentic to your mission and voice are crucial for your staff. They are templates for each individual to make their own. Effectively, a huge, huge confidence boost on how to ask, the words to use. Here are some tips when composing your referral statements. Frame your referral requests by focusing on the community you serve or problem you address. Include who you serve, your ideal donor or volunteer, and the core results of your organization. So as an example, who do you know who wants to give back to our community by volunteering their time like you are doing? While this is a very generic example, you can see the framework of seeding the referral. One thing to plan is how you will respond to your donor or volunteer's questions about referrals. They may want to know about your referral process or what it means. Anticipate the questions, plan your responses, and practice. When you receive a referral, take immediate action. If you can't interrupt your task at hand, add it to your calendar, CRM, or a sticky note taped to your desk. Training your staff on how to ask and practicing provides the knowledge baseline to put your referral plan in process. Today, we covered how to boost referrals from your donors and volunteers. You learned how to identify what's holding you back, how to use the EAR methodology to grow your donor and volunteer base, where to incorporate referrals into your donor and volunteer process, and why you must leverage scripts to ask for the referral. By systematically implementing referrals into your donor and volunteer process, you'll serve more people, shorten your giving cycle, and increase your donor and volunteer base. That's the power of mastering donor and volunteer referrals.